Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? I did get this tractor running yesterday. So last time I was in this tractor, what had happened was that I had, I got to turn this key to turn the electrics on. This is one of the kill switches. I flipped this right here. This is the master disconnect. I had turned the engine off with the master disconnect, and then I forgot to turn the key, and so the electrics were on, and that battery died. So what happened with that battery was I am relatively certain that battery, it was just an old battery. It was a 4 or 5 year old battery. That battery maybe had a little bit of life on it. Then when I just left it on that one day, when I left it on for those 3 days and that battery died, that was pretty much just the death blow for that battery. So I had to get a new battery in here. Got new filters on everything. Got new oil in here. Everything's ready to go for this season. Gonna turn it on right here. That's a little too much throttle. Gonna put it right there. Did I do that right? Yeah, everything's maybe I have to give it a little bit more gas. It's an old tractor and it's cold outside, so. There it goes. So I'm gonna let it run for a little bit, just to get everything circulating. So everything works. This fuel filter, or excuse me, this air filter right here, this air filter, I'm gonna double check to make sure that I have this air filter installed correctly. This air filter yesterday, it did go green one time, so I turned it on and off a handful of times. One time it did go green, so I'm like, I think that this sensor works, so maybe I installed the air filter incorrectly. I gotta pull the sheet metal off to the side to take a look at that air filter, but I'll be doing that. As soon as I get a chance here in a little bit later today. So I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna double check that air filter, make sure I got that the air filter installed properly. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I guess it's going okay. Yeah, because yesterday it was going green, then it would stay red, then it would go green, then it would stay red. Okay, so air filter is good to go. Fuel, got to put a little bit more diesel in there. There's the battery. Tachometer is going. Crank the engine up, throttle it. Tachometer moves up. Oil pressure, a little bit high. I'll go check to make sure that the engine's got enough oil in it. I'll go double check the engine dipstick. The coolant, the coolant tank is completely full. So yep, the coolant, the engine's running cool, and it's also cold outside. So everything's working. I'm gonna make sure I double check that when I go check the air filter later today. Oh, well, I guess there's zero need for me to check the air filter later today. I'm gonna let this tractor run for a few minutes, then I'm gonna just turn this tractor back off. But the coolant is completely full as well. So the coolant, the engine's running cold, and the coolant tank is good. I got zero leaking. I got zero coolant leak into the cylinders or anything like that. So yep, tractor is good to go. All of my equipment as of right now is good to go for farming season. I got yeah, everything's running, everything's good to go. Man, just a tractor like this, a big tractor like this, just changing the transmission oil, just changing the engine oil, just changing my filters costs almost $1,000. It costs about $100 for engine oil. It costs about $100 for filters. It costs about $150 for filters. It costs about $600 for hydraulic oil. So add all that up. That's like $750, $850. It's practically $1,000. And then I got to do something like put a new battery in it every few years. It all adds up to be about $1,000 a year just to maintain this vehicle. My small tractor, it cost me barely anything. My small diesel tractor, it cost me maybe $100 a year to keep that thing in tip-top shape. $200 a year. This, it cost me $1,000. So I gotta really get some work done with this tractor. But this is gonna be my hay tractor. This is gonna be my hay tractor. It's gonna be a good yep, everything on it. I got it running, and everything looks good to go. I guess the air filter decided to start cooperating here, so that's good. But everything on this tractor is good to go. I would turn this engine off to make it make less noise on the camera, but I like to keep this engine running for a little bit just because yep, want to get everything circulating, want to get the engine heated up a little bit to just make it a little bit easier on the tractor. It was hard to start up in the morning, so I just want to leave it running for a few minutes here. But yep, this tractor, well, I'll be doing my plowing on this tractor. I'll be doing my hay harvesting on this tractor. It's gonna be a yep, it's gonna be a good little tractor. It's a big old 150 horsepower turbo. I got a cold front coming in this week. I don't know if you can see my breath on camera, but I'm trying to. It's cold out here right now, but on Thursday, it's supposed to get to 33 degrees. There's one last cold front coming through here on Thursday. It's supposed to rain, real heavy thunderstorms. 80% chance that the temperature is supposed to fall to 33 degrees, 30 degrees, something like that. So it's gonna dip below freezing one more time, and then we should be off into the warm season. But after that, the temperature is supposed to go up to about 75 in the morning and in the afternoon, then about 45 in the evening. 75 in the morning, 45 in the evening is good. It's good weather for ryegrass, but it's too cold for Sudan grass. It's too cold for pearl millet. So I think I still have about 2 weeks minimum, 3 weeks before I'm able to plant my warm season grasses. I get this, well, that's what it's looking like right now, because if it's 30 degrees, if I plant Sudan grass at 30 degrees, it's a horrible investment. Planting Sudan grass, planting pearl millet when it's 30 degrees outside, there are a lot better ideas to focus on. So, yep, I got a cold front coming in this week. Afterwards, the weather will be real good for this ryegrass to grow in. Here in about, I would say, it's middle of March right now, so in about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, that's when I'm going to start looking for a window of opportunity to plant Sudan grass. When things start happening, they're going to start happening fast. So got to make sure all of my equipment is ready to go. Because if it's time to get going, and my tractor it ain't running, I ain't running. That's a big problem. So all my equipment is good to go. My small tractor is good to go. My big tractor is good to go. My grain drill is ready to go. My fertilizer hopper is ready to go. I got my plans just about set in terms of what I'm gonna do. The moment I get an opportunity I'm just, what am I going to do? I got those plans about made. At this point, it's just in those final steps of preparation. Now I'm going to start looking for a window of opportunity. But this week it's just going to be too cold. It's going to be too cold. This ryegrass is going to grow real good though. So this ryegrass that I got on this field right now is going to grow real good. These cattle are going to have a lot to eat. It's going to be cold though. Yep. I figure it's going to be about April when I plant Sudan grass. It's going to be about May when I plant that pearl millet. Up until then though, this ryegrass is going to be doing just fine. I'm thinking maybe I gotta buy some banners or something, because I'd like to, you know, see if my neighbors around here would like to get their properties done too when I'm doing my field. Because if I could just drive my tractor over to their property, then do their field for them, that'd make my life, you know, it could be something that I make money on, that they can make money on as well, because they can take that hay that I'm growing, that file property tax exemptions on it, or they could sell the hay themselves and make a positive return. Even though it'd be okay, so gotta be realistic on hay. Okay, I'm selling bundles of grass. You know, the profit on 1 acre of hay a year, if it's harvested 3-4 times, the profit's going to be like $1,000. All right, let's just be honest. That's what farming is. If it was way better than that, that'd be fantastic. But you know, it ain't like that. So maybe a good. I'm gonna work on these estimates a little bit more. But you know, that'd be a realistic estimate, making $1,000 an acre. So if somebody got 10 acres and they really, you know, and it's a real decent year, maybe they make $10,000. You know, and then they take that $10,000 and then they take the cost of the fertilizer and the seed, and then they take the cost of paying me to do it. Maybe they make $5,000 a year on 10 acres. You know, because they're gonna have to pay me, then they're gonna have to buy all the supplies too. And so if they're gonna cut that $10,000 in half to about $5,000 a year, they take that $5,000 a year, and then they add their property tax exemptions to it. Maybe they make $6,000–7,000 a year. So that's just realistically the outlook. So I mean, a lot of people, they go, oh my, you know, I think it's people who don't know, they just don't know. And so, you know, I gotta explain, I gotta tell that to people too. You know, that, you know, in the best case scenario, they're gonna be making about $5,000 a year. Like me over here, if I do this, and then I do my neighbor's property, because I also got cattle, maybe I can make a, you know, I'm probably gonna make a little bit more money, because I don't have to pay me to do my field, to work my field. And so that $10,000 that I make, you know, if I take the cost of supplies to grow the grass, it's gonna be about $7,500 a year that I make. I make some money on cattle too in the off season. In the winter time, in the fall, I can maybe turn this property into about $12,000 to $15,000 a year. But my big plan right now is I'm gonna raise cattle year round. So I gotta see what I'm gonna do. I'd like to take these cattle to processing weight to sell them as beef. And if I can do that for a little bit extra money, and if I can make $20,000 a year on this farm, I would take that $20,000 a year and I would leverage it for more land. Because $20,000 a year is about enough money to buy 50 acres, to buy 50, 75 acres. There's a that town that I went to about half an hour away, where they got those big silage farms. You know, they're growing grass better than I am, but they also have zero cattle. They don't raise cattle on their silage plots. They do raise cattle over there, but I realize that they don't raise cattle on those silage plots, because those silage plots, if I grew grass like that put cattle on it, it could put them at extreme risk of nitrate toxicity. And so the grass was growing real good, and they were irrigating it a whole lot, but they had 0 cattle on it. They had separated their cattle. They what I realized those silage farms were doing was they were harvesting the silage and they were feeding that silage to cattle. And so if I had separate fields, I would do that too. That'd be fantastic. So maybe that's something I can pick up on here too. Maybe I need to increase the hay output considerations on my neighbor's field, because my cattle won't be able to go over there to graze it and put themselves at a health risk. And so, yep. But I'd like to buy a piece of land over there in that neighborhood. That's one of my short-term goals. Is I really like that I really like that city. It's about half an hour away. They got a lot of silage farms over there. They got a lot of cattle over there too. But they got some of the best silage I've ever seen, and that's where I'd like to go. But that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.